Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Alliance Alive HD Remastered. The game was developed by Ryu Corporation and published by Alliance America and released on a PC in 2020. The game is a chibi style RPG which originally started out on the Nintendo 3DS, and that's now made its way to the PC with a whole host of upgrades and new features. Is this kawaii cutesy looking game any good though? Here's more info in the game's review. The game's story tells of a tale when long ago demons first appeared. They invaded the world and used some type of magic spell to blacken the sky and cast away the sun. The world now only consists of constant nighttime and rain, and humans have become essentially slaves to the demon and the beastkin creatures. Faced with a future of no promise, a small rebel group fight against the demons and beastkin in an effort to take back their world in an adventure that will take our heroes to all manner of places that they didn't think was possible. The Alliance Alive has a fantastic cast of characters who all come together perfectly and work together well as a group. Each one of them, whilst being their own individual and having their own origins, flow together perfectly well as a group and make you think they're almost family with just how well they have been designed and developed. I am sure that there's bound to be a fan favourite amongst groups out there, but for me personally it has to be Vivian, because how on earth can you not like Vivian? My only really negative point about the game's cast of characters is that at first when you do start the game, it does seem to take a little while for the group to get together and for them to really start expressing themselves as an individual and have their own unique personalities come out and shine. My only other slight negative point about this would also be that there is sadly no English voice acting at all in the game, which really I wasn't expecting because this was a Nintendo 3DS game at first, but considering that this is a HD remaster for the PC, it really would have just been a nice little extra added touch. Gameplay for the Alliance Alive is a bit different from what I was expecting it to be like. Whilst I obviously was expecting the game to have traditional RPG elements, I had heard that the game was also mildly tactical as well. What did surprise me though was just how tactical the game actually is. Because you see, with this game, whilst you do have the standard RPG methods and systems in place, the game is far more tactical than it lets on. When in combat, you can switch between different weapon types and battle strategies depending on who or what you're fighting, and this is where the tactical part comes into play. Whilst in combat, everything is turn-based like what you would expect from a traditional JRPG, but you can't just spam the attack button and expect to win. Some enemies that you're going to come across are resistant to certain weapons or abilities, which is why your characters are all going to have to be loaded out very differently from each other. Okay, here is one of the most important parts about this title. The game claims to be a HD remaster of the original Nintendo 3DS title. But is it? Or is this a case of something like Code of Princess on the PC, where only around 30% of it had actually been HD remastered, and the rest was just essentially a pixelated mess? Well, I do have some good news. This title has indeed had some effort and time put into it, with new character models and textures being upgraded and enhanced from the original game's outing. So if you were indeed to compare the two versions together, you would be able to see a big graphical difference from both versions in how they look and how they perform. Alliance America has kindly uploaded a comparison video on YouTube showing the graphical differences between the two, so I do recommend that you check those out and see just how much of an upgrade things have been given from the original 3DS release. Well, you're probably wondering that if the graphics have all had an upgrade, has the same been done for the game's environments as well? Whilst many of the game's towns, cities and people have indeed all had a graphical upgrade, it's all the other little details within the game itself which are a bit hit and miss. If you look at the details closely in this video, you'll notice that there are a lot of low-res textures in place for many parts of the game, such as flooring and objects placed in the game's environments. I do understand why it has been done, and realistically I wasn't expecting everything to have 4K textures in place everywhere, on everything and everyone, but in some locations it just comes across as a bit odd, by having the characters look HD remastered, but then you see objects in the backgrounds, be it such as food or books, and you can just clearly see low-res texture quality on them. It just looks a bit out of place. It's at this point in the review that we talk about if the game we're reviewing is worth purchasing or not. However, for this game, that's rather a sad matter, because the truth is I honestly don't think that most people out there know much about this game, or that it even exists. The problem is that this game reaches out to a very niche audience, and unlike something like Hyper Devotion Noir, it hasn't got a huge backlog of games behind it which help push what that game is. It just hasn't got a huge history about it. So for most people, they will be going onto the game, either be going blind, or they'll just see the game's graphics and animation style on the Steam store page, and because they see the chibi animation, they'll just go, no. I can completely understand that reasoning myself, because it is one of the main reasons why I personally have not purchased Hyper Devotion Noir. But in the same breath, I do genuinely believe that if gamers out there gave this title a try, they would not only grow to enjoy it, but absolutely love it. This game has got a good story, it's got great characters, and it's got a great battle system, and this game really does manage to hold your attention throughout. The Alliance Alive HD Remastered is a good game, and one which I would highly recommend, as it really does deserve a chance to shine among all the other RPG games out there. This is a game that does deserve your time, it deserves your attention, and it deserves your love. Would I recommend the Alliance Alive HD Remastered? Yes, I definitely would. Well, that's it for this review, guys. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.